Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Welcome. Oh, look at the guests we have. I'm so excited about today. Hey, Taylor and Case. I feel like, what is that? The romper room. There's Taylor and there's Casey. Some of these people might be too young for that.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah, we aren't. Like, I remember that every time people do, when they start naming people on their Facebook, it's like, hey, I see this person, I see that person. It totally reminds me of
Right?
Romper Room. I should look up, like, when did that go off the air? Does anybody know? Like, when was that?
I remember watching it when I was like really, really young, but I don't remember like a lot of it.
No, I only remember
she used to always go with the little mirror and she would always say Tina, and I would go,
she never said Angel. She never said
yeah, but
And
now
I never said Taylor, so I can't relate. I'm sorry.
Casey, did you ever watch that show?
Yeah, of course.
Casey, where are you coming in from?
What?
Where are you from? Where are you at right now?
I'm in Los Angeles, in the heart of Los Angeles right now.
LA.
But I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, up in Seattle, just outside of Seattle.
Oh, you did? My brother
Oh,
lives
what
up
part
there.
of Seattle?
In a little town, called Puyallup.
Really? My sister lives in Oak Harbor.
Oh, I love Oak Harbor. Yeah, the only thing Puyallup's really known for is the fair. So
Oh, really? And now it's going to be infamous because you have said it on TV, so everybody's
exactly.
Yeah, my son JJ, when he gets back from Korea, he's going to be stationed at Fort Lewis.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to be coming over there a lot.
It is beautiful,
but it rains.
Just wear a rain jacket
all the time.
Now, see, you lost me at rain. Okay.
I know, that's why I started. I started the
No.
story with I'm in Los Angeles.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not there
me in
anymore.
Los Angeles, and you lost me at rain. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Taylor, where are you at? Where are you from?
I'm in Dallas.
Oh, in Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Can't you tell with her big hair? Because you know how Dallas people have the big hair because they're closer
I
to
can
God.
get bigger. This is not big. I can promise you. I can.
You can get bigger.
Yeah.
I have a lot of my friends who are from Dallas and San Antonio, and they always say the bigger the hair, the closer to God.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
high
you
heels.
know, yes, and high heels. But you haven't. I mean, like, whenever it was in the 80s, whenever I was in, born.
When we all had the big hair.
Yeah, when everybody had the big hair and I mean the big earrings and the big necklaces, the big shoes, and everything. It was like, yeah, it's calmed down quite a bit.
So I was raised in San Diego, so I definitely had the high Aquanet hair and the eyeliner and the dark. Yeah, that was all me.
I love.
You can relate to that, right? Right, Casey? The big hair and the eyeliner. And, yeah.
I grew up in Seattle during the grunge era. So the difference is for us, it was all the boys that had the big hair. Because we were going grunge at that time.
How long was your hair? What's like the longest you ever had your hair?
Oh,
or like your bangs?
I was more of a mohawk, spiky hair grunger more than I was.
Different colors?
What?
Different colors?
My hair was a different color. It was my one way of rebelling. It was my rebellion, my rebellion days. But
what do you mean your rebellion days? You're still rebellious.
I know. I mean, the funny thing is, I honestly, because I was even playing in the business world back then, I would sometimes like have to dress up, and then I would literally dye my hair to go into a meeting, and then dye it back to some other crazy color as soon as we were done.
That's funny. And now people don't even care. They're like, "Oh my God, I love it."
Yeah.
So were you a big Nirvana fan?
I can actually remember in high school being invited to a garage party where a few of these guys were going to scream and jump around and we were going to drink Rainier beer. And I sat in a garage and listened to three guys scream and yell into microphones rehearsing for some stupid show they were going to do. They turned out to be Nirvana. So that lots of those grunge guys. I mean,
Kurt Cobain?
Wow.
Those days in my hometown of Puyallup and Auburn and Aberdeen and Enumclaw and all of those kind of fringe suburb Seattle type cities, it was literally grow your hair long, get a microphone, scream into it, and you've got a record deal. And I mean, everyone. And I went to Washington State University, so they would all come over there, thrash
Right,
around
the
at the frat
Huskies.
parties, and then they would come back. And yeah, I mean, it was, and I was a musician in those days, so it was awesome. It was an awesome time.
Wow.
Sure.
I don't think I knew that about you.
Now, you have me jealous now, because I mean, like, I love Nirvana. Like,
They were awesome.
Wow.
so
The
now
things that you find out about people,
is Washington State in Pullman? Is that Pullman?
Yes.
Or is,
Yeah.
okay. My daughter's best friend just graduated from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, virtually.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience, but at the time I was managing a water park of all things on the other side of the mountain. So I spent a lot of my college days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at school, and then I would come home during the week. So I had this weird reverse schedule. But yeah, it's essentially, if you can think of like wheat fields and farming for literally as far as the eye can see times 3. And then you plunk a 50,000 kid college just out of high school, first time away from their parents, and a bunch of pizza and liquor stores. And you got yourself Pullman.
Wow.
All the basic necessities covered.
All the basic necessities for sure.
Yeah, and my Larry's granddaughter, her boyfriend is the kicker for Washington State.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so he's from here in Dallas. So
wait, did you just say Washington or Washington?
oh, I'm sorry. Did my Texas come out? Hi, that's the Texas girl in me.
Right? It's so funny because I have a bunch of my friends, they do that too. Did you put your stuff in the washer? And I'm like, the what?
I know, it's bad. It's
R in it?
bad.
My dad actually says Washington, so
I've
I've lived in a dual household for many years.
You
You're
speak
like,
both
what is
languages.
it?
Yeah, my kids tease me all the time whenever I say washcloth. They're like, what? What?
Oh, I call it a washcloth too, but some people don't call it washcloths. I don't know why. It's weird. I'm like, what is it? And they're like, that thing. And I'm like, a washcloth? And they're like, it's not called a washcloth. I'm like, yes, it is.
What else would it be called?
I forgot now what they call it. Like, same with like a kitchen towel, like a tea towel. We always called it like a tea towel.
Yeah.
You get a tea towel.
Or like a
And they're like,
dishcloth?
it's a
We
hand
called it
cloth.
a dishcloth.
Dishcloth, yeah.
Dishcloth.
Okay.
Or a weapon if you know how to snap it right.
Well, only the mothers know how to snap it right, because you get the edge wet just a little bit. And you can,
When they sass you in the kitchen, you're like,
you can pop them really good, especially when it hits that thigh.
You can get a few little whelps going on the booty. I think they probably call CPS on
I
you.
was just gonna say the new name of this episode is CPS, huh?
okay.
So Casey, we have a little funny story for you. So Angel just, signed up with Banner Season last week, to, send some gifts to all of her clients and stuff like that.
Tina's all about customer retention and building relationships and follow up. And she introduced me to this program called Banner Season, where you send gifts and cards and it's this great website to do all this.
And so she calls me, she's like, oh my God, I love this. I just sent a bunch of mugs and water bottles and I sent this. And I was like, oh, good. And then she calls me on Friday and she goes, I think I just sent like 25 brownies to somebody. And I said, what? And she goes, I don't know if this is right.
This is not right.
And I kind of look and I go, oh.
This is not right.
Last night, she goes, Tina, I got to show you something. So she shows me this box.
Is my box. I had all of like 3 addresses that I knew that I could send people to that I had, because I hadn't been collecting addresses. So I go in and I design this really cute water bottle with my logo on it. And I'm going to send it because, I'm going to test this out, right? I'm going to send them these little water bottles. It's got my logo. Fabulous. So Carrie calls me on Friday and she's like, Angel, you sent me a card. This is Home Sweet Home. That talks about thank you
Dear
for
Tuccy family, thank you for letting me sell your house.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So I'm thinking, okay.
Oh,
I
and
thought I
let us
sent
know,
you-
she's not a real estate agent. She's a media and PR coach.
Yeah, nothing to do with real estate. I didn't even see this like as an option, right? Somehow, right? I send her this thing with an entire box of brownies that say home sweet home. Oh, we were playing with that one. They say the home sweet home with her name on it. And I had sent it me one too. So I got this whole box. There's like a bajillion brownies in here. And they all say, like, thank you for letting me sell your home. It's like as if I designed this card. So I'm saying to Tina, I'm like, where'd my water bottles go? She's like, you must not have put it in the cart. I'm like, the only way to get to the cart, right? You can't get to checkout unless you put something in the cart. How did I send brownies? How did I send?
And
So
she sent three of them?
3 packages. Yeah, 3 of, and
Of
I didn't get,
16
nobody got
brownies.
water bottles. They all got, but thank you for selling my home brownies. How in the world?
She
Aw.
said, Tina, only me. And I said, listen, I'm gonna have Casey get on the phone with all of my people and do some training.
We can certainly do a walkthrough. That sounds like a gorgeous package that you sent someone. I don't have a good answer
Needless
for
to
it.
say, the brownies are very good. And
Well,
so
yeah,
she-
it's what I had for lunch yesterday.
and so she
Yeah.
says, what
I
did
mean,
you
like
say?
the whole thing. I know buying a home is a huge step. I appreciate, I like somebody wrote this. Somebody designed this package.
We are going to get to a bottom of it for sure.
I said, we have to tell Casey tomorrow. He's gonna die.
So, like, did this, but it's from me. Like, it has my name on it. So it's like, it's
Hang on a second. Let me figure it out.
okay. Has this ever happened? And like, is this the most unique first purchase like with the company ever?
Totally.
There's not a glitch in your system that this just like randomly happens all the time.
We randomly, or I should say it's not my company, but they randomly send out completely random gifts to people that create stuff. It's a new project that we have.
It's a new project. It's a
Well,
new
here's
incentive.
the saving grace is the brownies are amazing.
They are amazing. And so I told her, I said, well, at least the brownies are super good. I said, if you warm them up with a
million
little bit
of
of
them.
vanilla ice cream. And she goes, but Tina, they're not even,
There's so many.
no,
There's so
tell me
many.
what you said, what kind of brownies they are not.
Oh, they're not pot brownies. Yeah, they're not pot brownies.
No,
Right,
not yet.
I'm in Denver, right? So Tina's like, Angel's got a brownie story, really funny brownie story to share. I'm like, well, no, they're just regular brownies. Yeah. So my friend who is in real estate, I told her, I said, I'll bring these over to you. You can give them to all the people that are putting their home on the market, but they had my name on it. So we just crossed it out and said, these are baked especially for you.
Oh, there you
Aw.
go. Perfect.
Well, there you
So
go.
we're going to recycle
Out of the Tuccy's, right? Right.
if they make it past this week, because she's going to have one a day because they're so
It was
good.
the most bizarre. So Carrie calls me and she's like, Angel, I got a gift from you. I'm like, yay. Yeah. What do you like it? I'm trying out. Like Tina signed me up for this new service. She's like, well, it's a little confusing because, it talks about selling a home and buying my home. Like, when did we do this? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And Tina says, well, you must not have, you probably designed the mug or the bottle, but you didn't put it in the cart. I'm like, well, how then did I get to checkout if I didn't put it in the cart? Like, it's the only thing I put in the cart was this bottle.
I promise you, we will get to the bottom of
That's
it.
what I
Soon
said.
as
I
we are
said,
done.
this is such an amazing company. I said, believe me, you'll get it all fixed.
Hey, you
I'm
know
like,
what?
but
I
she
think
sent a mug to Sharon Lecter.
We don't
And-
know that.
Oh,
here's the thing. Probably somebody that needs to be in your life ended up with your water bottles at their doorstep, and it's going to connect with you and go, I don't know you, but I
no,
love
she
this
never
water
even
bottle."
sent the water bottles. Like they weren't.
Oh.
Yeah.
you
Okay,
know.
well, I thought I had the solution. I'm sorry. I thought
know.
I nailed it.
Welcome to customer service. We go from CPS to customer service. That's the new name of this episode.
I'm going to need a whole lot of customer service. I'm like,
And
Yeah,
if so,
Carrie.
we're going to need a whole lot of CPS.
my kids are older now. And so they don't tell secrets.
Yeah, right.
Although it is funny, they will tell you, they're like, so mom, do you remember that time where you thought and we told you it was this? I'm like, yeah. Well, really, it was this. I'm like, oh, you what? Yeah. So they're like revealing all their little naughty things they got away
my
with.
kids are starting to do that now too. Mom, remember that time that you and dad left and da 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 da? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, we had this and we did this. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. They figured that the statute of limitations, right, is
and
gone.
then I had 3 boys, and so they would always go. And Gage told us that if we told you that snitches get ditches, and so that was
Snitches get ditches.
That one.
We had very different childhoods. I was watching Romper Room.
Right? That's like right out of Compton kind of thing, like an LA thing.
He says,
Snitches
Mom,
get
he
ditches.
says, Mom, Gage said snitches get ditches, and we told you.
I'm looking up when was Romper Room, because you obviously needed more Romper Room in your kid's life, girl.
I did, right? Well, my kids didn't have romper room. I had it, which is why I grew up the way I did.
Your kids probably had Barney or something.
They had Barney and the big comfy couch and Teletubbies.
It
Oh,
ran.
I hated Teletubbies.
Yeah,
It
me
ran
too.
from
They're
1953 to 1994.
What?
Romper Room.
94? That's
Yeah.
before I had my son.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't. How come I never watched it? Well, probably because.
Well, no, we outgrew it. We
I
outgrew
outgrew
it,
it.
right? We grew up because I think it was like a preschool kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
But I mean, my sisters and my brother didn't do that either.
Huh.
Huh.
Wow. Oh, look, and Daryl just texted me 1953 to 19. Yeah, 50.
Well, he texted. He's our little What do you call the researcher?
Oh, Captain Kangaroo. Do you guys remember Captain Kangaroo?
Yes.
I think I do remember Captain Kangaroo.
How
But
about
you know,
Mr.
I was that
Rogers?
weird kid who, like, when I was 5 years old, my favorite show was The Dukes of Hazzard.
I love the Dukes of Hazzard.
I watched The Dukes of Hazzard, and there was a show that had this guy and a monkey, and he was like a truck driver. It was kind of like BJ and the Bear, I think it was.
BJ and the Bandit.
BJ and the Bandit.
Loki and the Bandit.
Okie and the Bandit.
It was a guy, and he had his monkey, and he was a truck driver, and all these girls were truck drivers, and they would all be in bikinis in their truck driver things. And I'm like, now I go, what the heck was I watching?
I actually loved the show Dallas because it dealt with oil and business. And I just, as a kid, even I was an entrepreneur, little kid. So I would just sit there and watch Dallas, and I didn't get
So you
any.
weren't even watching it for the drama. You were watching, oh, look, they have a good business deal.
Oh, they were probably my earliest business teachers. Crazy.
Yeah, J.R. Ewing, man.
J.R.
Exactly.
Ewing.
Ruthless business tycoon.
Our conversation has went true.
That's what it does, right? That's what happens when you get together with friends and you're having coffee in the morning.
In 4 different time zones, and
Yes, this is the early time zone. Look,
the very
Yeah, we always
I love you.
apologize to our West
God,
Coasters.
God bless you, Mr. L.A.
Yes, I told him, I said 7 a.m. and I said, ooh, I'm so sorry.
I don't use an alarm clock. This was the first morning I've used an alarm clock in a very long time, and in about 47 minutes from now, it will show.
Okay, well, let's get to know our guests a little bit better, so that the world will know you even better. We're going to start with Taylor. I just wrote down just a couple of things about you, Taylor. A mompreneur. You've been in the direct sales or network marketing businesses for over 27 years. Right? You are a teacher and a coach to leaders in network marketing, and you're starting a brand new group called the She Network. So super excited to hear about all the fabulous little projects. So did you start the She Network during the pandemic, or was it an idea that came this
idea has been, because, Larry and I, we've been in the teaching and coaching space for quite some time. And this was really kind of born out of, just experience, because I've sat in so many boardrooms of so many different network marketing companies, and I find that I'm the only woman most of the time. And so, but then whenever you look at the field, it's, 75% of the field are women. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
something's wrong with this picture, right? Women are losing their voice, they're losing their confidence, and because they come in and it's that old adage of it's like you remember in high school whenever you had the football star, and he was just like, everybody loved him as total rock star, all the girls loved him, swooned over him, and he was just everybody loved him. But then you had this real beautiful cheerleader, and then everyone's like, oh my god, who is she? Right? So this stereotypical thing with women in general, right? and so but what was the catalyst was for me was it was the anniversary of my first baby, and she was stillborn. And I was actually sharing this really very authentically, real openly on Facebook, on social media, and really sharing my journey in that process. And that was for the thing that was the most revealing and eye-opening is that I had so many women say, I mean, my Facebook page blew up, but it was like, oh my God, me too. That happened to me. That happened to me. And the thing that was very shocking to me is that it was women that I was in relationship with, right? That I'd worked with, that did church with.
You had no idea.
And I had no idea. I had no idea that was part of their journey and part of their story. And that was really what set the trajectory for me. And that was about 3 years ago that this idea has been brewing and really cultivating in my brain, because, we're so social, but do we really know each other? And then, then you have this dynamic, especially with women, if they let you in too close, or if they let their guard down and make themselves vulnerable to you, now they've exposed themselves, and now who's going to leverage that against them? Who's going to use that against them in some way? And Casey, I don't know, women are a little crazy, I don't know, I don't think guys really deal with that kind of thing. And so I was really after connecting with women and really empowering women, letting them, wanting them to bloom where they're planted, really allowing them to see that their journey and their story matters, and that whatever mess that they walked through, that it's just a message for the woman walking behind them. And so
you and I had this conversation the other day.
Yeah.
And it's so true, because you don't ever know until you share your story. You don't ever know those people, the right people are going to come to you and say, just like you said, me too. Thank you for sharing your story.
And especially in this space and being in network marketing, we have, I'm kind of in a very unique situation because I don't build business with any company. I'm generic. So I consider myself to be a safe haven place because I have all these relationships with these top tier women in their companies. And so, I thought how cool it would be, because they're like this magnificent light in their company, and they have so much genius that they share in their company. But what if they could share their genius and their story and be able to have impact on another woman in their life, in her life, or in her journey, or in her business life, and it'd be okay, right? It'd be okay that she can share that, and she can pour her genius or her excellence into another woman, and we can collaborate and not compete. Just because we're in different, these ladies are in different companies doesn't mean they have to compete, because
everybody brings something different to the table. Why not collaborate?
Yes. And it's been such amazing. So I've been in this pre-launch phase probably since about September, just really building the Facebook group and really kind of creating the culture and the environment, while then, and then really, each week doing similar to this, but doing interviews and really collecting women and their stories and where they came from. You'd be really shocked, because it's the stories that you don't hear from the stage, that people go, wow, I had no idea. So then there's this bigger respect that takes place, and people are like, this is unbelievable. And so then what happens is then through, because it'll be like a membership platform, and then the women, each woman will share their training, they will share their excellence, and they will pour inside each woman what they think every woman needs. And, you know, and it's not necessarily only about business, you know, it's about, maybe it's about health, maybe it's about fitness, maybe it's about parenting, you know, because I wanted to be this.
How not to pop your kids with a tea towel.
Yeah, that one. You know, not to
or
pull
how to use it in those certain spots, so then that way you hide the little welts on their butt.
Well, or you know, or maybe how to be a homeschool mom in quarantine.
Put a sensor cap on this one.
Tina keeps wanting to bring it back to that. Did you notice
right?
that? Do not have her be a part of your parenting segment.
I know, right? Hey, I did raise 3 boys and they're all alive.
Well, here's the thing, like, you know, I mean, it is perspective and it is part of her journey. And who knows what other woman, like, may need that, especially in this quarantine homeschooling realm that these women are being thrown into. I mean, there may be a few.
Are you homeschooling?
My kids are out of high school.
Okay, so they're out of high school. So I was doing the same thing. I was like, oh, I'm an empty nester. And then when we all went into the quarantine thing and people were like, oh, I have to turn into a homeschool mom, I was like, oh, I'm an empty nester.
Well, I mean, I have a whole nother respect for what's happening with mompreneurs in this moment and in this time. You know, I mean, it's hard enough doing a home business and taking care of your family. And then whenever you add the layer of homeschooling, like what? Like, I didn't sign up for this. And it's kind of crazy, but I have so much respect. My heart goes out for them because I can't even imagine being that organized, first of all, and to be able to navigate through that. And so, you know, it's certainly a different time frame, but, you know, again, it's part of the journey, right? It's part, I mean, this too will be part of the message that,
right,
that will be extended to that single mom or that stay-at-home mom that's wanting to figure those things out, that there's a whole new learning elevation taking place right this very minute.
So Taylor, when do you think you'll launch this group?
Hopefully next week will be, I mean, we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. And interesting, you bring up banner season because they're actually creating custom cards and stuff for me, for my guests.
No, they're making brownies for you. They're not making
that too.
No, only home sweet home cards.
So, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to pay attention to that piece of it, you know, before we start sending out brownies, you know.
Would do a sample. I would only send it to 2 or 3 to make sure the order is right before you send it to everybody.
So,
that's
Taylor,
only when Angel does it.
We'll get you taken care of. I promise it will go out right.
That's only when Angel does it. All my stuff goes out right.
Yeah, a clear example. Don't put Angel in charge of sending out your stuff, right? So Taylor, I'm sure your order will be beautiful. What are we getting? What do we think we're getting?
Yeah, what are we gonna get?
Well, I mean, we have, you guys, there was some, her name is Jenny, and she's like, she did some really beautiful custom cards for me. And so, and Joe's putting together some fun stuff. And so
Joe will be on our show on Monday.
Oh, love Joe.
He's do amazing. Too. He's like one of my favorite, besides Casey, one of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. You know, I mean, it's so it's been my side hustle for a while, you know, because it's not the main thing that I do. But
what does She Network stand for?
It stands for Sharing Her Excellence Network, where we empower, edify, and encourage women entrepreneurs.
All right, so Taylor, how do you want people to follow you or stay connected or maybe get in the know so when it does launch they can participate?
Well, yeah. So I mean, right now, so the Facebook group that I have is open. So, you know, all the women that come inside, so you would go to My She Network. That's the Facebook group that you can join, and or the, you know, I have the page as well. But, you know, as you come in, like I've created this culture of, you know, you coming in and you introducing yourself and sharing who you are. And then also, you know, if you invite Angel in. So I love this part too, because it's a great place for you to invite Angel into the group and really say, oh my gosh, Angel, you mean so much to me, because remember that time when, or because you're such an amazing mom. So it really gives a space where you can edify other women in a place that they may never have known that you felt that way about them.
I love that.
And it's
I'll invite you, Angel.
Or okay, you have to say why.
I'll say why. It'll be a long paragraph.
Short why.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, it's definitely a passion project. It's certainly a heart project, and I really hope that, you know, for those women out there who feel stuck, who feel like they're flailing around, that they can become part of a community and know that they're strong enough and they're good enough right where they are. Whenever you are around, whenever you have the right environment, that you can feel encouraged with, because environment is always stronger than will.
Yeah.
You know, environment is critical.
And us women need to know that we're enough right where we're at today.
Yes.
That you're enough.
Yeah, it's such a powerful piece, and I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those things that, especially for women, you have to paint a picture for them that's bigger than where they stand.
Yeah.
Because whenever you see them bigger than how they see them, then it gives them the power to move forward.
Yeah.
And that's my hope. I that's my hope. I think that I want them to see themselves bigger and stronger and better than they think they are, especially in the circle that they're standing in, right? So it's
we had Les Brown on the show yesterday, and he said to find a mentor that believes in you until you believe in yourself. And we were both like,
yeah, I always like to think about like really being able to cast a vision for someone, because it's like anybody in your life, you know, you can't see the forest for the trees a lot of the times. And people see your potential or see you bigger than you are. And so whenever you have that environment that allows them, like, you've got this, girl, like, you're this, you're that, you're this, you did, remember whenever you did this for me. And so it really makes you get out of your own head and see, okay, this is not about me, really. It's about the people that I can serve. It's about the people that I can have impact on. And whenever you do that in your story, and don't hide behind your story, but whenever Larry and I always talk about, like, whenever you've got one finger pointing out, you've got three coming back. So every time you share your story or you have that conversation with somebody, the power and the energy comes back to you, right? You're encouraging someone, you're sharing something of value to them, but really the energy comes back to you and builds you, like, okay, I got this. I got this.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. Okay, so it's My She Network. They can find that on Facebook. Join the group, invite some other woman that you want to edify and empower and uplift. It's sharing her excellence. And Taylor, I love that. I love that it's on your heart to do something even bigger and to make this impact for women, because we do need to stand together even more.
Yeah.
And I love that you're doing that. You're leading the charge. You're leading the charge right here. All from Dallas, and we can do it virtually.
Yes.
Isn't technology amazing that we have this impact? It doesn't have to just be in our neighborhood. So.
Well, and I do want to talk about one more thing, if you don't mind. I mean, because this has a philanthropy piece that goes with it too. So there's that it's, you know, we empower, you're part of your membership goes to, it's called PCI Global, which is a women empowerment movement where $50 educates a woman for 18 months. So we had the honor and the privilege of going to Africa. We went to Tanzania and saw this actual take place with these women in these third world countries. That, you know, there's no electricity, there's no running water, but they, through this process, they educated them to where they could build businesses and have micro businesses in their villages and in their communities that's having such a major impact. And so I'm super excited about that, because it's not about a charity, it's really about a movement. Because whenever it's the concept of, you know, you can give a man a fish and he can eat, but if you teach a man to fish, he can eat for life. And that's what's happening through this movement. And so, you know, that's the philanthropy piece that goes with this community of women, that your membership goes to help support another woman.
Oh, so it pays it for, you know, it's continuing, right? Continuing to pay it forward. Well, let's get to know Casey. He's been so patient while we having girl talk over here, right? Great.
Poor guy. I'm so sad when I have a guy here and they're like all with women.
Happens a lot.
Well, Casey's a Disney fan, so I just love that. All three of my kids work at Disney, and we're big Disney fans over here too. But he's bought and sold over 12 businesses over the last decade. He's in network marketing. He's the top income earner. He connects with, well, hold on. He also runs a business coaching training mastermind program for businesses that are committed to producing extraordinary results. It's called the Platinum Inner Circle, which of course we all want to be a part of that. Right. He's been a consultant and speaker, travels the world teaching and training the concept of powerful networking and follow-up. Casey, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Casey's okay, so how did you... my favorite people. Him and I met like 13 years ago, back in the day.
Yeah, it was back when we were just kids.
Yeah. In the romper room days.
In the romper room days. In fact, we probably met on the show Romper Room. It just not the TV version, the network marketing version.
Okay, so how did you meet? Where?
We were both part of a company that we were both part of the same company back in the day.
Yeah, my husband and I met in the starting up.
Yeah, we met at an event. It's one of the reasons why events are so powerful, is that's where you really can connect with another human, another soul, and be able to develop a long relationship over the course of a decade. And that happens all over the place, you know?
That's impressive, right? Because you guys are, you know, you're not in the same city, you're not in the same town. You know, you only meet like when you happen to show up at the exact same event at the same time, and no coincidence happening there. But the fact that you kept the relationship and are still connected is always.
And we don't ever see each other like maybe once every couple of years. I mean, it's going to probably be a lot more now, but it was like maybe once every couple of years, maybe once a year, and we've seen each other. But it's always been we always had a real close relationship.
I mean, it's sort of like, if you really look at what we do in network marketing, and even what the She Network is doing, is it's really providing a conduit for like-minded people to get together and share commonality and share stories and advice and you know, it's funny, Taylor, just a huge hats off to you. You know, I never share this story, so it's you know, it's a little emotional for me. But when I was in high school, I was managing a business, and I'm going to leave a little bit of the details out. But I was managing a business, and I had to fire someone, and he put our guests at risk. So there was no need; he had to be fired. And at the time, it did not go over well. And his retaliation was he went and raped my girlfriend in high school. And that was a huge turning point in my career, because at that moment, I became a complete advocate for women and women issues. So my mother, my entire in-law, my sister-in-law, her entire family is a breast cancer research family. So everybody basically has mastectomies and double mastectomies before they're even out of high school. And the power of what women have as a network, I never really understood, or I should say my first lesson was when I went to college. I went to Washington State University, and we were a party school. We were talking a little bit before the show that we were a party school. And so one of the things that I saw one Saturday night was I saw a gal, she might have had, 7 or 9 beers too many. And I saw her being quite harshly harassed by a group of guys. And it was at that moment, because of what had happened to me earlier with my girlfriend at the time in high school, and my family and everything, we came up with women's transit. So in college, I created a women's transit, which was a volunteer organization of all guys who on Friday and Saturday nights volunteered to drive gals to and from dorms, to and from anywhere they needed to go in the evening to keep ladies from going on the street in a college town with a bunch of drunk dudes, to try to avoid any trouble, if we should say. And
Wow.
And Taylor, for you, what is so powerful is, I had the real opportunity to get to know a lot of these girls, even though they were my age. We were all in college together, but the stories that would come out when it was just me in a car with 2 or 3 girlfriends, there's something really powerful that I don't think has been exploited, even though that's not the best word for it. You ladies have an enormous power that goes beyond, I think, what most women even think that you have. Dudes, like, we're pretty simpletons. Like, we've got like 3 modes: on, off, sleep, eat, drink, sex, bed. Like, those are your options, right? Yeah. We're really not that complex of a creature, right? Tell us to do something and we're like, okay, do we get fed? Okay. Right? Ladies are far more complex, but it's in that complexity that the genius actually occurs.
Yes.
And so I've just always found, because I've done a lot of transformational work and we bring that into our coaching practice a lot, language is so critically important, and so this sexism thing starts when we're kids. I mean, when we're kids and we're running around, if I want to insult somebody, I say, you throw a ball like we start that early. We start that early.
You fight like a girl.
Everything is blue or pink. We start this whole game really, really early. And so sometimes when I work with women, and I'm super fortunate that because I have a different set of experiences, I think I look at the situation a little bit more complex, if you will. It's important to understand that when you say someone is, to me, like when I hear ladies, and I work with some coaches that are women that coach women, and they say, oh, well, we got to tell women that they're enough. Well, to me, that only makes them feel like they're on up to some level. Enough of what? You're so much bigger. You're so much more powerful. Your stories are so much more complex and rich in the character and who they are and who you are, that I actually, sometimes when people say, oh, we need to tell women when they're enough, I'm like, no, don't tell them that. Tell them they are so much bigger. They're so much greater than just enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, Taylor, I just love what you're doing, and I love the movement. And I would love to be able to contribute in some way, especially even as to the educational component, or the nonprofit or whatever you're doing overseas with helping the ladies get educated.
Oh, I would be so honored. That's so exciting. And thank you so much for sharing your story, about your girlfriend. What a tragedy, and life impacting to a degree, like life forever changing.
Yeah.
It was.
But the fact that you did something about this, the fact that, I mean, hats off to you, because especially college age guys, to have that kind of forethought about girls and to be that sensitive to those kind of situations. You were definitely a man before your time. I would assure you.
And to start a movement like that, to find the right guys, because you had to find the right guys who were able to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, look, if I may for 1 second, we've been in control for too damn long. With the ladies, would y'all please go unite at My She Network's Facebook group, get a movement and kick our ass out, please? Like,
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing, though, Casey. Like, you know, I'm not a feminist or anything like that, because I don't want that. I think at the heart, women still want to be treated like women, with respect
absolutely.
and honor, and you know, and not either one of the boys, or, you know, there is like always one side, either in this part of the pendulum or over here. You know, why can't we just find this, you know, this you know, happy medium in between?
Well,
And
oh, sorry, Taylor, go
no,
ahead.
no, it's fine.
Well, I was just going to say, well, to me, it feels very much just in the world in general, just in the world. And I do a lot of international traveling, I'm sure, Taylor, as do you. And so you see different perspectives all over. And what's always really interesting is I think the world is the setup that you set up with network marketing companies, where you've got women that are in the field, that are doing it, that are driving it, that are the foundational component of how this entire operation works. And yes, they get celebrated, but they don't always have a seat at the table. And the seat at the table sometimes is a little bit stacked against them for whatever reason. I'm just saying, if the She Network is going to try to help take those women out of the component of being thought of as our field and not part of the true leadership, meaning voice at the table, and we're going to help transition kind of that conversation, I just think the world needs that, to have that same shift.
Why, thank you so much. I mean, you know, and you've been around this long enough, Casey, that you've seen this too, and obviously you have an eye for it. You know, that it's like, you know, a man can come into a company and blow up the marketing plan, and he's a rock star legend, right? A woman can come in and blow up the marketing plan, and, you know, she's got a target on her back.
She's stacked, or she had help, or her husband was working in the background.
It's all, there's all the time it's discredited, right? That couldn't possibly happen. She couldn't possibly have done that on her own. She couldn't possibly have achieved that. And the bad part about it is that women, especially, they get the daggers from the men because they don't like the competition. They don't like.
They get the daggers from the women because.
And then they get the daggers from the women because, you know, so a woman in that arena, I've experienced this personally, and they get it from both angles.
Yeah.
And so, and to the point of, you know, I want to be that, I'll say really loosely, the virtual upline, the online upline, because if they can come in and have somebody can support them and be their adopted downline, if you will, that they could come to and still move forward and not have to worry about. I mean, I get this, I get these conversations all the time, guys. Women coming to me, and the stuff that I'm hearing in the field, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then both of you, the fact that you were both here today with this heart and this passion to make a difference and make an impact. Casey, have you written a book? Are you an author?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a whole backstory behind it. So, I mean, yes, but
yes, but
yes.
Well, we'll use it as a little lesson. And this is a true lemon out of lemonade type story. So yeah, I wrote a book that we gathered some people together, and I was super honored to have been kind of a big chunk of this with Deepak Chopra and Jack Canfield and then I kind of rounded out the book and kind of gave an overall deal and yada, yada, yada. And so the day that the books arrived, this is so typical entrepreneurial rags to riches story. But I get this pallet of books arriving at my warehouse. Like, I was so excited. I ordered this pallet, and I, at the time, owned an equipment rental company, and I sent the whole staff home early so I could just have a moment to be with my book, to be unreal, because I knew how much effort had gone into it. It was, I mean, anybody that's written a book knows that your first crack open of the first case of the first time you see it is like a magical moment.
And you don't anticipate that. You just have like this flood of emotions, and you're like, where did that come from?
There's a lot of emotion. So I go to this pallet. The first run of the book was 500,000 copies. And I get this pallet, I crack it open. I will admit I had some champagne. Like I was celebrating with myself over this book, and I opened it up. And the first thing I did was I scrolled to the page where it had get in touch with Casey bio page on it. I'm reading it, and this is one of those moments that I give anything to have video of what my face actually looked like, but I'm really happy there's not video of what my face. That's by the way, the best part about social media is it came after
audio.
Because my childhood, I am very happy there is no record of it.
Right. Our high school life.
Yeah. And I opened it up, and the phone number was wrong. The website was wrong. The address was wrong. It was just, and it was one of those things where so much had gone into it. And I knew that all those copies were now out into the world. And so I literally I reached out. One of my best friends is Todd Falcone, another amazing, kind of my first mentor.
He's on my list to get on this show.
I'll get him on your show. If you don't, you just call him direct. But
you know, I love Todd Falcone. Yeah. I love him to death.
So I called Todd in tears. And I was just like, I don't know. What do you do? Like, you hope that they're going to Google you, I guess, if you've made, and
go buy the domain where your name is spelled wrong.
Well, here's what happened. That's exactly what it is.
Just your book.
What?
Maybe it was only wrong in your book.
Yeah, I wish. But no, so Todd and I talked about it, and really what came out of that was I went and bought the domain that was wrong. The phone number that they had put in it was 1 digit off. I found the business in LA. They were in Burbank that had that phone number. Thank goodness it was like their 7th or 8th line. So I paid them $1,000 to give me that line. And then what happened, we came up with, because I figured nobody was really going to contact me other than people that I got the book to, like if Angel got the book, like, who's this yahoo I'm really going to call, like, seriously. So we went and had stickers made, and we made them personalized copies. So we numbered the first 4,000 as entrepreneurial copies. We called them VIP. We gave them bonuses. And so I literally paid my assistants, elementary school friends, Cub Scout group. I paid them 10 cents per sticker that they put in the back of these books. And that's how we did the first 4,000 copies, where it was like a numbered, personalized version.
That's so, but you know what? I mean,
idea though.
I love this because, most people may have just stopped right there, and just harbored on the problem, and you figured out the solution. Larry always says, I made lemonade out of lemons, right? So I love the fact that you went to that. What a great story. Mm-hmm. What a great story.
Yeah. It was not great at the time. It's taken years of therapy to get over that and be able to say it
3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
We actually have a gal who has started the Lemonade Legend, and she takes people who have their lemon to lemonade story. But of course, you can't share that story until you've made lemonade. It's all about the lemonade that came out of the lemon story. And she's been collecting stories, and it's just a great platform.
And Angel was on the front cover of the first issue.
Yeah, she did. Awesome. She did a magazine. She's got books. She's all in getting your story out into print. But it really is about what was the lemonade that you made out of that lemon story. So Casey, true entrepreneurial, right?
Right.
Okay, what can we do? How can we fix that?
I think
it just shows you that nobody is perfect, right? You bought 500,000 copies?
Yeah, we had a lot. They printed 500,000. Yeah.
Okay, so Casey, what do you think?
At the end of the day, I'll just pull from a little bit of what Taylor said. Is as a business guy or as an entrepreneur since a young age, I was really, really fortunate that my grandfathers, both of them, were entrepreneurs. My dad's an entrepreneur. My mom is not so much an entrepreneur, although her career, she had to pretend like she was an entrepreneur. She designed and created and staffed and built high schools. I was a high school principal. So I was kept in line.
Sure.
But I was taught how to always be resourceful and get myself out of problems and solve problems. So I was taught to fish as a kid in the proverbial sense of business and navigating difficult and sometimes challenging environments. And I think as businessmen and women, whether it's network marketing or non-network marketing, the real gig from just my perspective, and I heard this said before, is that at the end of the day, our products are all awesome. Our services are all awesome. Our comp plans are all awesome. The friendships we make are all awesome. But at the end of the day, when you strip all of that away, we're a personal development operation with a compensation plan attached.
Yes.
Right? Like, you know, we'll trick you to come into the space dangling whatever we want in front of you. But once you're in, now we're family. Yeah. And now the teaching and the uncovering and the journaling and the process of, you know, changing. This is how I describe it. And I don't know if it's really applicable, but our job in the network marketing profession at some level is to take a W-2 and convert them to a 1099. Here in the States, you guys will get that. It's really taking somebody that's shackled at a cubicle and give them the mindset, the skill set, the confidence, and the leadership opportunity to become a 1099. Yeah. So if we can get rid of the 1099, you know, and that piece in between is the most critical, because once you become a 1099, you know it. You know how to fish.
And you don't ever go back.
Right. You never go back. You're unemployed and unemployable, right? Right. Yes. From ever becoming a W-2. I love it. Casey, how do you want people to follow up with you and connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm all over Facebook. I'm all over Facebook at KCD Eberhart, and I have a follow-up guide. I do a lot of follow-up. I know that's where a lot of folks tend to have a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a bump in the road comes in terms of follow-up. And I like to do stuff that's fun and easy and whatever. So I just literally created a guide on 20 ways to help you follow up. It's totally free. If you just go to expandthebusiness.com, expandthebusiness.com, just tell me where to send it. And you can go learn some follow-up skills to help you further the relationships that you meet. I mean, like this Facebook group, ladies, like go dig deep, connect with those ladies individually, one-on-one. When somebody introduces somebody, get on the horn, treat that as if it's your own internal network of friends and colleagues and peers, and you're all in a movement to help girls around the world. Like, come on.
Yeah, you know, I want to tap into this right here because, I mean, first of all, you did it with me, Tina, but I'm such a, I think people hide behind social media to the point to where there's not real relationships. I mean, guys, like reach out, don't just message somebody. It's like, hey, can we connect? When can we talk? Here's my phone number. That piece,
just like that. And I was taught that way. Casey and I come from the same seed almost, as we're taught to build relationships. And that's him and I, we speak about the same things, building relationships and clients and stuff. But when you do that and you take it offline, yes, that's when you connect with the stories. And that's how you and I, our stories connected. We would have never known that about each other if we would have just seen that on Facebook, seen us on Facebook, seen this on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, like, because you reached out to me and I'm like, okay, so when can we talk? I want to talk. I want to have those conversations. Yeah. So I love what you're sharing, Casey, because, this piece right here, so many people are so focused, especially network marketing, they're so focused on the result that they forget the activity. If they would just focus on the activity, meaning, i.e. the follow-up, that kind of thing, the results will happen. That's why I think they just got to shift their thinking just a little bit, right? So I love to follow up. So I can't wait to see what you're going to teach me.
We're going to have some fun.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for spending your morning with us today, getting a little intimate and raw and real on the morning show. This has been truly, I think, a blessing to have the two of you together. No coincidence.
And it always happens. It always happens that way. We have the right people together for a reason.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been fun. Like I've had a good time. It's such a surprise. I mean, so good to see you too, Casey.
You as well. I was so excited. I'm like, I secretly, even privately, called Joe this morning. I was like, "You don't understand. I'm on with Taylor this morning. This is awesome." So
He was like,
Oh,
"Girl, I
I
know
love
what
that.
time it is."
I made sure he was awake. If I'm awake, he can be awake. That's how I
Right,
look.
right.
Right? If I'm awake, if the sky's awake, right? So we are super excited. We started this morning show about 6 weeks ago. Came out during the quarantine, during the pandemic, as a way to just be a light, a bright start to everybody's day. We don't know how long it will continue, but we know that the right people have been on the show, and we've been able to create some valuable connections, some incredible impact, and some optimism and some light into what can be a really dark time for so many people. So I'm Angel Tuccy. I'm a media exposure specialist. I teach entrepreneurs the power of media, doing interviews, television, radio, magazines, podcasts, summits on getting more exposure, attracting more leads, elevating your brand. And you can grab a complimentary guide to get started on how to open those doors for media exposure at makeyourbigimpact.com, makeyourbigimpact.com. And we've got a great Facebook group, lots of great resources once you get there that you can plug into. So super excited to have you guys all on this morning. Tina, what you want to close us out with today?
I am Tina Torres, the gratitude specialist and client retention expert, teaching you how to create those loyal clients for a lifetime. Turn those clients into raving fans and increase your cash flow without adding a single new customer. And I do that through my connection to client blueprint. And I just launched a new course this week. You can text the word connection to 26786 to get your 7 ways to increase your cash flow right now. And we thank you guys so much for watching the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern with 2 special guests every single day. And we hope we were the bright start to your morning.
Yay!
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Thanks.